The mid-14th century was a world in chaos, fractured empires, rising kingdoms, and the fading shadow of the Mongols. In Transoxiana, the Chagatai Khanate crumbled, its lands torn by warlords and shifting allegiances. Amid this turmoil, a new force emerged, Timur. Not of royal blood, Timur was born in 1336 near Kesh, a member of the minor Barlas tribe. Scarred by an arrow in youth, he became known as Timur the Lame. Tamerlane to the west. His limp only fueled his ambition. He saw opportunity in the region's weakness. Timur mastered the brutal politics of the steppe, forging loyalty through battle and terror. The Silk Road cities, weakened and divided, were ripe for conquest. Soon the world would know Timur's name, through fire, steel, and fear. Timur's rise was not a straightforward ascent to power, but rather a relentless struggle, a constant climb against adversity. It was a period defined by conflict, ambition, and the ever-present threat of betrayal. His path was paved with cunning alliances, forged in the fires of necessity and political maneuvering. These partnerships were often fragile, shifting with the winds of fortune, and ruthless betrayals. Trust was a rare commodity, and loyalty was often bought and sold. The political landscape was treacherous, where enemies could become allies and allies could turn into deadly foes in an instant. His greatest rival, Amir Hussein, a powerful figure in his own right, was finally defeated in 1370, after years of bitter conflict and strategic maneuvering. This victory was a turning point, cementing Timur's rule over Transoxiana and solidifying his position as the dominant force in the region. Unable to claim the title of Khan due to his lineage, Timur ruled as Emir, skillfully installing a puppet Khan, a figurehead to maintain the semblance of legitimacy. This allowed him to honor Mongol tradition, a crucial element in maintaining control over the diverse population, all while wielding real power from behind the throne. He unified the fractious tribes, a constant source of instability, through a combination of force and reward, offering incentives for loyalty and brutally suppressing dissent. This allowed him to begin forging a new army, a formidable fighting force loyal only to him, personally bound to his ambition and his vision. Timur masterfully blended Mongol organization, known for its efficiency and effectiveness on the battlefield, with the raw Turkic manpower readily available in the region, and infused it all with Islamic zeal, creating a powerful ideological component to his military campaigns. The result was a disciplined, ferocious force, capable of conquering vast territories and crushing any opposition. By 1380, after years of relentless campaigning and strategic consolidation, he was the undisputed master of Central Asia, his authority unchallenged, his power absolute. From his magnificent capital in Samarkand, a jewel of the Silk Road, he looked outward Persia, the fractured remnants of the Golden Horde, and the vast territories beyond beckoned, promising riches and glory. The humble shepherd boy, once an outcast on the fringes of society, had undergone a remarkable transformation, becoming a conqueror poised to shake the world with his ambition and military might. Timur's ambition was boundless, stretching far beyond the borders of Central Asia, fueled by a desire for conquest and the establishment of a vast empire. His methods uncompromising, often brutal, and always focused on achieving his ultimate goals. The chaotic steppe landscape, a crucible of conflict and ambition, had given birth to its most formidable ruler, a man destined to leave an indelible mark on history. The world's fate, for better or worse, now lay firmly in Timur's iron grip, ready to be reshaped by his will. With Central Asia firmly under his control, Timur, the ambitious conqueror, set his sights on new horizons. He unleashed a wave of devastation, a storm of iron and fire across the ancient lands. His primary targets were Persia and the Middle East, regions rich in culture and resources, but vulnerable to his relentless military machine. His campaigns were nothing short of cataclysmic, a whirlwind of destruction that swept across the landscape. Renowned cities like Isfahan, once vibrant centers of trade and learning, and the historic city of Baghdad, the heart of the Islamic world, suffered unspeakable massacres. Their populations were brutally slaughtered, their lives extinguished in the name of conquest. The aftermath was a macabre testament to Timur's cruelty, with skulls stacked high in grisly pyramids, monuments to his barbarity. Timur's invasion and conquest of India in 1398 was a particularly dark chapter in his reign of terror. It was marked by the cold-blooded execution of over 100,000 prisoners, a horrifying act of mass murder. Following the massacres came the complete and utter sack of Delhi, leaving the once magnificent city in smoldering ruins, its wealth plundered, its spirit broken. He decisively crushed the Ottoman Sultan Bayezid at the Battle of Ankara, capturing the Sultan himself, a stunning victory that sent shockwaves across Europe, which had long feared the Ottomans. The ancient city of Damascus was brutally sacked, its skilled artisans deported to Samarkand to enrich Timur's capital, and its people subjected to horrific massacres. Timur's name became synonymous with terror, a byword for ruthless conquest and unparalleled brutality. So great was his reputation for cruelty that his mere approach could force powerful cities to surrender without a fight. His military strategy was brutally simple: resist his armies and face complete annihilation, a fate worse than death. Or submit to his rule and survive, albeit under the yoke of a merciless conqueror. He wielded fear as his deadliest weapon, a psychological tool that paved the way for his military victories. He broke mighty empires with calculated brutality, leaving a trail of shattered kingdoms in his wake. Across 3 continents, from the steppes of Central Asia to the plains of India and the cities of the Middle East, Timur's path was indelibly marked by destruction, dread, and the suffering of countless innocents. To see his banners on the horizon was to witness what felt like the coming of the apocalypse, the end of days for those who stood in his path. He was seen by many as the scourge of God, a divine punishment visited upon a sinful world. And before his terrifying reputation, the world trembled in fear. Timur's identity was a paradox. Publicly a devout Muslim, privately obsessed with the legacy of Genghis Khan, he justified his wars as jihads, rallying his troops under the banner of Islam. Yet, he emulated Mongol law, married into Chinggisid lineage, and sought to revive the Mongol world empire. Timur's conquests devastated Muslim cities, even as he claimed to purify the faith. His rule blended Islamic legitimacy with steppe brutality, using both to justify his ambition. He was a master of political theater, shaping his image to inspire loyalty and fear. Timur was both holy warrior and ruthless destroyer, protector and predator. His dual legacy, Islamic champion and Mongol heir, made him unique in history. Above all, he was Timur, a force who bent faith and tradition to his will. Timur's military genius was unmatched, his army a refined evolution of the Mongol war machine. Heavy cavalry and swift archers formed the core, organized by the decimal system for perfect control. He adopted new technologies, siege engines, even early cannons, transporting them across continents. Timur's tactics were ruthless: feigned retreats, psychological warfare, and calculated terror. His spies gathered intelligence, and his reputation for cruelty often won battles before they began. Cities surrendered at the sight of his banners, fearing the fate of those who resisted. His strategy conserved manpower and accelerated conquest. Timur's campaigns were meticulously planned, his logistics unrivaled. From Russia to India, his army was the most terrifying force since the Mongols. Amidst destruction, Timur built a dazzling capital, Samarkand. He spared artisans and scholars from conquered cities, forcing them to create a city of breathtaking beauty. Samarkand became a fusion of Persian, Indian, and Central Asian art, crowned by majestic domes and intricate tilework. Monuments like the Bibi Kanim Mosque and Guri Amir Mausoleum projected power and awe. Timur's court was a center of art and science, its brilliance born from conquest. The city's splendor was a stark contrast to the devastation he wrought elsewhere. Samarkand embodied Timur's paradox destroyer and creator, tyrant and patron. Its turquoise domes are monuments to both genius and suffering. The city was his ultimate trophy, a paradise built on the ruins of empires. Samarkand's beauty endures, a legacy forged in blood and brilliance. In 1405, Timur, the formidable conqueror, met his end. His death marked a significant turning point in the history of Central Asia and beyond. On the eve of invading China, a campaign that could have reshaped the geopolitical landscape of Asia, he was poised to strike, ready to add another jewel to his already vast empire. His empire, stretching across vast territories, held together only by his iron will and military prowess. It was a testament to his personal strength, but also a vulnerability. His death shattered the Timurid Empire, the carefully constructed edifice of power began to crumble almost immediately. His heirs fought amongst themselves for control, and his conquests quickly unraveled as regional powers reasserted their independence. The empire was fragmenting. Unlike Genghis Khan's enduring legacy, which saw the Mongol Empire persist for generations, Timur's empire was a fleeting blaze, brilliant in its intensity but ultimately short-lived, unable to withstand the test of time without its founder. In the lands he ravaged during his relentless campaigns, his name remains a byword for destruction, trauma, and the immense suffering inflicted upon countless populations. The devastation he caused through warfare and conquest set back entire regions for centuries, hindering their development and leaving a lasting scar on their societies. Yet in Central Asia, particularly in Uzbekistan, he is celebrated as a national hero, a symbol of power and regional pride, and patron of a cultural golden age, a period of remarkable artistic and intellectual flourishing. The art and architecture he inspired, with its intricate designs and grand scale, influenced empires for generations, leaving an indelible mark on the artistic landscape of the Islamic world. Timur remains a paradox, a figure of stark contrasts and conflicting legacies. Brutal conqueror, responsible for immense suffering and widespread destruction. Visionary builder, whose patronage fostered a cultural renaissance that continues to inspire awe. His empire, once vast and powerful, now lies in ruins, a testament to the ephemeral nature of earthly power. But his legend endures, a complex and multifaceted narrative that continues to fascinate and provoke debate. In blood, stone, and turquoise tiles, a reminder of the contrasting aspects of his reign. Timur's story is one of ruin and renaissance, a legacy both feared and revered, forever etched in the annals of history.